Hello video world, this is Brian. I'm going to show you a couple quick steps on changing out the starter of a 2005 Chevy Trailblazer. The reason I'm doing this is because I looked for information on YouTube on how to do this or any tips that I could get, and there wasn't any. So since I changed this out already, I'm going to go through steps on how I did it. A couple things, good, bad, or indifferent. First thing you want to do, get a block, a couple pieces of board, or if you're fancy and you have jack stands and a jack, perfect. You're gonna jack up your car, block it up, because you never want to trust a hydraulic jack. They do fail. You're gonna take off your left driver's side front wheel. Doing that, it was that baby right there, and or that baby right there. The 3/4 inch socket. I'm going to take that off, and to work on it, there's a flap right here. You can see it. I just pinned that black with something so I could see through there. That's going to be where you end up working through. Okay, you cannot get to the starter from the top. You cannot get to the starter from the bottom. You need to go through there. I learned that out after some headaches. This is what your starter and your Trailblazer will look like. It will sit like so, that facing the back of the car. Okay. There are two mount holes. This one is really easy to get to. This one, not so much. That's your solenoid. This is where your wires connect to. This one comes on from the manufacturer. Leave that in place. Just make sure that your nut's tight. The other ones you're going to be taking off are these two. You're going to disconnect them. Before you start any of that, though, you want to make sure that you're disconnecting your battery. I just disconnected the black. Worked fine. You can do both. Easy schmeezy to do. That wrench is a small one. I'm not sure what size that one is. Other tools I used for this were a long socket extender, short socket extender. This baby right here is a 15 millimeter. That is for the mounting bolts. This one right here is a 13. That one I used for here when I could. A deep well would have been better. I used it once it got out a little bit, but basically I had to use a little wrench to loosen that up. But they're not on there too tight, so it wasn't a big deal. The other one is a 5/16, and I use that on your power. Also on this piece there. So to get started, disconnect the battery, jack up the car, take off the left front wheel. Once that's done, then you can disconnect these wires, disconnect that bolt, and have fun disconnecting that one. Then I pulled this up through the inside of your car. Okay? Sorry for the bad picture there. Where it's located is if you come in here, you got your battery here, you got your fuse panel here, and if you go right back here, you can see it. Right there's your starter, right there's your solenoid, right there are all the screws that you're screwing into. Okay? That's where it's located in your vehicle. The part cost me about $240. I get $40 back on a rebate, so make sure you're taking that back. You get a core rebate. I'm going to try and get in here with a flashlight, holding the phone. I have the tire back on, so I don't know how good of a picture it is, but right there, you can see the starter. I'm sorry, my picture is really bad. Right there's your starter. Okay, it's a lot easier to get into once you get that wheel off of there. Then once you're done changing it out, don't over tighten your bolts. I connected my battery before I jacked down the car and put the wheel back on. Just make sure everything worked. Make sure it's in there nice and tight. You have no movement because it's gears that are moving. As you can see on here, this goes in and connects to a set of gears on the inside. So make sure it's nice and snug in there, so no dirt can get in there. It's nice and clean in there, so you want to keep it that way. And that is about all the info I have for you. Have fun. It took me about 2 hours, but of course this is the first time doing it, and I really had very limited resources on how to do it. It took me probably 30 to 40 minutes before I figured to take off the front left tire, which would have saved me a lot of time. Then the only other hard part about it is getting this back bolt back off and on. My little trick for getting it back on is I have fat fingers. I couldn't reach back there like that and twist it on with my 2 fingers. So I was using your socket, but the little nut, a nut holds this one in, a bolt holds this one in. So you'll slide this piece over the bolt that's on the frame and put your nut on. Well, my nut kept falling out of here. So my solution to that was a little thread seal tape. I'm not plumbing, but it worked. I just wrapped it around the nut, stuck it in there so it was nice and tight and it wouldn't fall out. And then I used my short extender or my medium one, I can't remember at this point, and then just kind of felt my finger to this until I found it on, and then I just twisted it on. And once that gets done, you're about 10 minutes from project finished. So good luck.